Hi, everybody. I don't know why I can't have things playing in my headphones when I do this. It seriously feels like there's someone in front of me and it's rude. Anyways, we're gonna do like sleepy girl, dead girl, like editorial makeup. It's was kind of like a Tumblr vibe. I see it's kind of coming back. It's a fun look. I like doing it. I'm gonna try a different technique today, so we'll see. But it's pretty basic and a bit more on the neutral, natural type of looks, which is rare on this page. And of course, all the comments are, can't you do pretty makeup? So here we go today. Although I do just want to do this look, of course. I like look suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's my page. I'm going to do what the vibe is. But yeah, more directing that towards like the negative weird people versus someone who just has like a genuine, oh, you should do this look because it's cool. So, and a future look I want to do, I don't know if anyone's seen the was it Vanilla Mace's what there I just saw part of this I think it's a live stream where what's that game? It's that game with the duck thing, and the makeup look is so slay that I want to do it like a bit more editorialized. I'm thinking about it, but it may be too much of a deep cut. But anyways, that's just a thought I had. But we'll get into this look now. I'm gonna do a bit of underpainting this time. Usually I like to go over, but I think I'm gonna try under and then we'll see if we like it. I'm just gonna take my contour palette. This is the one I usually use. It's a Cheekbone Beauty contour palette. Obviously I went through that light shade like crazy, and then I use the cool tone contour a lot. I don't really wear the bronzer too often. I kind of use it for eyeshadow or going over my mascara. But yeah, I'm not really a bronzer girl. So just gonna take the cool tone and I'm just gonna put it under the eye. It's gonna look really dark. And like obviously not everyone's gonna be using the exact same shades as me. It's like use the equivalent that you already use, if that makes sense. Like this is already the cool tone contour I use. So whatever cool tone contour shade you use, you can think about maybe putting that in the corner, if that makes any sense. And I'm just gonna like turn to the sun so I can make sure I'm liking it. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of this red. But I'm actually gonna use purple over top. This is just for the base. I don't want it to look too like a black eye. I'm gonna brighten it back up. It's just for like the tones, which sounds kind of silly, but it works and it looks more detailed in person. That's why I hate when people don't know about makeup complain about, oh, we did that step and then you covered it. It's like, well, yes, that's part of the technique. But I appreciate some things can be wasteful though, but that does have like a technique to it. Okay. I wish the lighting was better. But I think you can see that the eye bags look a lot darker. And now find my foundation. There we go. And then I'm gonna get a white concealer. This one is the Sunset Makeup White Concealer. So I'm trying to brighten. And then we'll go back with our depths. So these are just like the highlights. And then I will take a bit of foundation. This one's already a little light for me because it's like the end of the summer, so I'm like the most tanned I'm gonna be. Even though I should have put more sunscreen on, but it's okay. So this, and I'm gonna use a sponge because I want it to be a little bit on the lighter side. It has a bit of a blue stain. It's gonna help the look, so I don't really mind. And then we're going to start blending it out, getting the product down, and then we'll kind of blend into the white. It does dry down kind of quick, so I'm not going to take too long. But I also want certain areas to stay the more true tone and not necessarily like the super bright white. So, but at the end of the day, you can also just totally blend it out and do it with powders. Like, it's fine. Just different techniques. Like, I don't really have many, but I don't do too much cream work. I usually do powdered. And I am going to go into a bit into the brow because it's kind of like the dead girl, sleepy girl look. So I don't want it to be too warm. And my brows are like very warm brown, like more than my hair even. So they look quite intense, which I like, but not as much for this look. Oh, I don't know why I thought I was done blending. I missed the other half of my face. And I've been lately watching YouTube videos as I do this because if I focus too much on the live stream, I can't zone out and do the look. So I've been watching like YouTube videos on the side, and today's an Adam McIntyre video because I do love those tea videos. Sometimes I feel silly watching tea, but I'm like, listen, I grew up on the YouTube in that era, so yeah, it's my version of like, I don't know, drama videos or my like trash TV, I guess. And I think Adam's pretty funny. So yeah, anyways. And I started watching the Vanilla Mace videos. I I saw like clips or whatever, but I just like her style and the fashion, and she seemed funny. But yeah, now I'm actually getting to watching the full videos. All right. Okay. Start with that. I am gonna powder down. Taking the Sunset Makeup white powder. And then we're gonna and I don't want this to be I want this to be as dry as possible because we're gonna blend a light amount of purple and stuff, and we don't want this to look too dark at all. We can always correct, but I'm just trying to get it a bit more right on the first go. And I still have to like contour and stuff too. Maybe we'll do that first. Okay. Let me try the light, because the lighting is just really not that good. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe we'll try that. But then you don't get to see my plants. Okay. And then I'm trying to find the right shade of purple. I think it'll be the one in my Sunset Makeup palette. This cool tone purples. But I want to be like super light with it. So I'm going to take this fluffy brush and get all of the black eyeshadow out of it. Because I do not want this to look too dark. It's going to take kind of like the very neutral effect away. And if you're worried, you can actually just dip into some of your translucent or white powder, whatever powder you have. Those are just the two I usually use. And I'm going to dip into the Sunset Makeup Trippy Child palette. And I'm going to dip into these two very lightly. I don't know if it's the exact shade I want. I'm actually going to apply a little bit of both to my hand just to see. And I think I am going to go with the more cool toned one. Just because this even looks a little bit brightening and peachy on me. So it's just not the right tone. And I'm just going to really lightly start to and we'll just keep on slowly. Just very lightly check if the sun. I'm gonna do a little bit of contouring, then come back to the eyes because I don't want to go overboard, and that's usually what I do. It's a little harsh, but I kind of like it. We'll let it sit and we'll adjust again if change our minds. I'm gonna go with a little bit more purple actually. But actually mix with that brighter one because I want to go a little bit further down. Kind of taking it where we highlight. Just really blending think we're starting to get there. I want to add a little bit of this red lipstick again, but I want to keep it really close to the lash line and just on the outer corner. And then I'm going to blend it like upward and then really blend it out. A little bit of a red, not too much though. I'm a little scared about this. It may be a mistake. Just kind of right in the center. A little bit more purple, but I'm going to use the cool tone one again. Ooh, yeah, I definitely needed to take it lower. Perfect. I was a little scared to do that, but a little bit more, and then I'm going to powder again to kind of neutralize it all back together. I also want to add a little bit up here. Not much, just a little bit of shape with that cool tone purple. I'm really just going to go into the crease. So I'm just trying to emphasize the eyes. I'm not trying to really make a look-ish. Then I'm taking the cool tone contour shade, and I'm doing the exact same thing, and I'm going to really put it in the center here. So I want my eyes to look a little bit droopy, but also kind of enlarged at the same time. And throw a little over the brow. So like I said, my brows are quite warm toned. So I just want to like dilute that a little bit. The hair is crazy. We'll fix it for the pictures. I'm gonna do a little bit more of the purple because again, we're gonna cover it up, so it's okay if it's like a little bit too much. And I'm gonna take a little bit of my Pat McGrath palette. And I'm just gonna take, there's like this dark browny purple. I'm just gonna tight line like the very edges of my face. I need a little more. And then with a little bit of that darker shade on a brush, just a little bit of that dark purple. I said I was going to turn it into a look, but I kind of have. So let me stop myself. It's a little too purple though. I'm going to add a little bit of the red, but with a touch of orange in it. Okay. Don't hate that. I'm going to take my white powder again. And we're just going to go overward on top. What the hell? Just to kind of blend the shading in and then press it into the skin. So that's why we went a little bit aggressive with the purple. And it's also going to kind of like re-highlight the face. So you still get that like editorial vibe. And I'm gonna go jawline too. And a little bit over the contour. Just to help the blend. I think I look kind of sickly. Okay. I'm gonna line my lips with, I just need my hands. I'm gonna use that dark purple. And I'm gonna let it dry a little bit before I blend it out. Kind of looks cool right now. Anyways, very vampy, but I'm not going full vamp, so I am gonna blend it out a little bit. But I like where the eyes are at. It's a natural dead look, so yeah. I'm gonna put mascara on. I'm gonna find my less crusty one. Hopefully, yeah. Okay, this is my Cheekbone Beauty mascara. Actually, they're both equally crusty, so never mind. Just gonna use a mirror. 1 second. The fan is getting all my baby hairs in my mascara. This mascara is really pretty. Like, that's a pretty good cover. Yeah. And I know they're kind of chunky. That's the look I'm going for. You don't have to put as much on. It's a personal choice. I'm gonna put another layer on actually. It looks dark on this camera, but in person, this is quite light. Again, gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna blend it out. I'm gonna add a little bit of glitter, not too much, because it's still meant to be kind of like a undead-ish look, but I like the glitter. So I'm gonna add a little bit of gold under the brow, up the inner corner, just lightly, and I'm gonna actually move it into my crease, just for that more, a bit more of a sickly. If you ever feel like your lipstick's weird, take some out of the inner corner. Or outer corner, whatever. Then with the excess, I'm just going to kind of lightly use it as a little bit of blush. Hmm. Made adjust a little bit off camera, but not bad. I also want to add a little bit of fake freckles because I have a lot of acne marks, so I always just like to turn them into freckles. Personal choice. I'm gonna use my mascara today. Hello. So with a little bit, usually I don't use black because it's a bit dark for me, but it's okay. Usually I use like a dark, cool brown. And I'll just go over my moles and little acne marks. My eyes water up the weirdest times. I swear. It also just makes the skin look a bit more natural. A little bit more mascara just to finish the rest of the freckles. Or, ooh, drop my stuff. Too much going on. Hold on. Why isn't it working right now, though? Hello? There we go. I don't understand why it stopped going on, though. I think it dries because my fan is like X Games mode right now. Just a few more to add. I think it's cute. And yeah, not the usual product I'd use for this, but we use what we have. Something like that. Curious if adding water will help. Don't get in the hair. Oh, we need a little bit more product. Hold on. Okay. And then we'll be wrapping up. I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. Smudged her. It's okay, we'll fix it. Why are the forehead ones so crazy? Oh, my nose started running. That's why I always got paper towel. And the makeup way is like you almost shove it up your nose. So then it doesn't smudge your makeup. Okay. And then we're going to powder that so it's not as intense. Whatever powder you use. Just so they stay stuck on and a little less scary. These ones I might actually use a bit of my sponge. I don't know why my nose is running so much. Makeup, little tiny amount. Dab. Dab. Why did I think that was a mirror? All right. I'll take a little bit more foundation. Barely any. Like barely any. Tap it out. And then just so they're a little less intense. Oh my goodness. I could not tell you why. And once I'm done this look, I'm gonna make like actually the best breakfast sandwich in the world. So I'm excited. No, the forehead ruins. We're taking that part down a big notch. Yeah, I like the rest. The forehead, it's okay. It's still too intense. Even though it's the same as down here, I don't know why, to me, it's just not hitting the way it usually does. So again, really tapping it out though, just so we can apply over powdered foundation without just really screwing it up. And y'all already know I can't do the mirrored thing, so I always go to the wrong side of my face first. And then we'll powder again, but now there's more for the powder to stick to, so it's actually going to be a bit more impactful. Because we are just trying to really neutralize. So it's a little bit more natural when we take pictures later. Something like that. Y'all can let me know what you think though. I always like to redo a look to see how we can improve. So, and then I'm gonna take this, which has a little bit of excess of the cool tone contour on it. And we're just gonna brush that away. We can blend into the white powder a little bit just to really go for that dead skin look. And the eyes are quite purple in person. I'm actually going to take a little bit of our contour on a fluffy brush and just swipe it like that. It was a little too purple. I don't want it to be brightening. I want it to be on the spookier side. Okay. I think we're done. Oh, no, we're not. I forgot to do the lip. Final steps of the lips. So this is a bit vampy. We're going to do a little bit of gloss, not too much. A sickly amount of gloss. So I'm focusing it in like the center of the face. And then we're going to take this with the excess gloss and put it on the other corner. So it's going to be a really soft reflection. It's going to look a little bit dewy, a little bit sleepy, sickly look. It's hard to see it over the camera here, but in person, it's a really nice kind of touch. You can put more on too, but I don't love the texture. And I plan on wearing this look a little bit longer today, so personal choice. But yeah, and you could do more with the brow. I don't really do too much with my brows. They're relatively full naturally, and I like them this way. But up to you. And like, this is literally one coat of mascara. Like, what the hell? So yeah, if you like this look, I'm going to upload pictures on my Instagram, probably maybe a shorts video on here, same username everywhere. Consider subscribing. We're almost at 500 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this year's been a pretty big growth year, so that's awesome. And appreciate everybody. Thank you, everybody new, everybody who's been here for a second. Probably be a funky look the next look, but finally did a pretty look for all those commenters who do not get it. But yeah, kind of undead, sleepy look. Let me know what you think. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace and take care.